Hey guys, welcome back to Relatable Girl. My name is Kendra Saunders. If this is your first time on my channel, I am the author of the Alien Popstar series, as well as some other books. I am the owner of Half Lucid Jewelry. I make things like this beautiful crown that I'm wearing today. And I am also a professional allergy sufferer. And that means exactly what you think it means. It means I am allergic to almost everything and have been on a long and sometimes crazy journey to get my allergies under control. If you're stopping by here because you want to know more about the allergy journey, I have a whole playlist of videos. It's about that. So we have allergy shots, we have sinus surgery, we have all that good stuff over there. And then in addition, I have a playlist about my ongoing issues with weight and using Noom and some of those things. And I also have a playlist for my crazy and often very funny encounters with celebrities, because I live here in New York City and you never know what's going to happen at the beginning of the day. Today's subject is a little bit different from all of those things though. My friends might be surprised to hear that I actually really enjoy rom-coms. I just do. I enjoy them. And this is kind of funny because I'm really not a romantic at heart. I tend to be kind of the opposite. But I really enjoy a good rom-com. I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I loved Crazy Rich Asians. I've loved a lot of rom-coms and I enjoy them. I enjoy them for, you know, the formula and the comfort that's in that and all of that good stuff. So recently I noticed that streaming services had 27 Dresses and The Ugly Truth available for streaming. I've seen both of those movies before, but it was a long time ago. With 27 Dresses, I want to say it was like when it first came out. With The Ugly Truth, I don't remember when I saw it before, but I saw it at some point. I have really enjoyed a lot of Jared Butler's performances in his movies throughout the years. I especially loved him in Phantom of the Opera, which is one of my favorite movies ever. I know that's a controversial opinion to have because people have very strong feelings about adaptations of Phantom of the Opera, but I loved him in that movie and I loved that movie, so whatever. So coming back to these particular rom-coms, you know, it's been some time. I've grown up a little bit more. I think I've gone farther from being a romantic even than I was when I was younger. And I put them on just kind of have in the background while I was working on jewelry or whatever. And something that I noticed right away, because I watched 27 Dresses first. Something that I noticed right away was when the hero shows up in the story. My first thought, you know, not when we like first see him, but when he first speaks, I thought, this guy's kind of a jerk. And I thought, he's got to be a lovable jerk though. Like, I couldn't have enjoyed this movie if he's just a jerk. So fast forward, you know, 15 minutes in and he's still a jerk. And then fast forward like half an hour in, still a jerk. This guy is making fun of her. He finds her, like planner book in a taxi that they share and decides to keep it from her instead of returning it. He goes through her planner, looks up at all of her stuff, which is just gross and invasive, finds her information, contacts her, sends her flowers without his name on them, and basically holds her planner hostage until she'll meet up with him to get it back. When she does get it back, it has like all of these notes that he's written on there trying to get her to go out with him, like his phone number and whatever. And when they do finally get together, he's just a jerk. He's a jerk on their date. He's a jerk every time she sees him. And the whole formula of this movie is that, you know, she's kind of a control freak. She needs to loosen up some. And, you know, here's this guy who's so just fun and sarcastic and tells her the way it is. And I think we're supposed to like him because he encourages her to screw off from what she's supposed to do and, you know, I don't know, just be irresponsible. There's also a subplot of the fact that he writes for a newspaper and he is writing a story about her without her knowing, and the story is making fun of her for how much she loves weddings. The main subplot of the story is that this main character, Katherine Heigl, her sister is getting married to Katherine Heigl's boss, who she's had a crush on forever. And you know, the sister is like very traditionally pretty. She wears more makeup and whatever. Like, I don't understand exactly why she's supposed to be so much prettier, because they're both very traditionally beautiful women. Just because Katherine Heigl's character doesn't wear that much makeup doesn't make her any less of like an unusually beautiful person. So, you know, her little sister is getting married to her boss and she's very jealous, and they have to kind of make the little sister out to be a jerk so that we can root against her. The big moment between the sisters is that when Katherine Heigl is supposed to make a speech at some like, you know, pre-wedding thing, she pulls up all of these old pictures of her sister doing different things that she and others, including the boss, are going to look down on and judge. So it's like her eating meat, her wearing a bikini, her doing a car wash, you know, her hugging different guys and whatever. And it's like all kind of not really that bad stuff, but it's framed to be like, oh, this is so bad. She's such a slut. Oh. That they were coming from the perspective of the fact that the sister was like not being fully honest with this guy about the fact that she eats meat and whatever. But okay, fair enough. You shouldn't lie about something like that, for sure. But the idea that she kept her past hidden and now he won't want her anymore because she's had a lot of boyfriends or done a car wash in a bikini just came off so unbelievably harsh and awful and just, ooh, yikes, that I was like pulled out of it and just disturbed by that. And then the sisters like fight with each other a little, and then they make up, and then of course she ends up with the jerk guy. So I didn't have high hopes rewatching The Ugly Truth, just because I remember that I didn't like that one as much as 27 Dresses anyway. But oh boy, was rewatching that an education. Somehow this movie might slightly be even more offensive than 27 Dresses, but I don't know, it's hard to tell, because in this one we don't have like the sister character, you know, so it's kind of Katherine Heigl and Jared Butler and then a bunch of people who don't matter at all. So it's a very different setup than, you know, this like fight between the sisters and like Katherine Heigl having a best female friend and whatever. There's just like very few women in this movie. We have the same formula. She's a control freak, and she, you know, when a waiter asks like, do you want still water or sparkling water, she's like, oh, goes into this rant about how tap water is basically the same, which depends on where you live. I'm sorry, New Yorkers, I know you're gonna kill me for saying this, but your water is disgusting, and your tap water does not taste like water from somewhere else that's in a bottle. Anyway, side note. But she goes on this rant about that. It's supposed to prove that she's like super uptight. And to me, it was just like, I mean, so, you know, Jared Butler's character is this chauvinistic, awful, misogynist, gross bro dude who has like an annoying morning show and talks about all these ugly truths about women. And it's just like as gross as you can imagine. And again, I like Jared Butler, and I could tell he was like having fun playing this character, but also it was such a bad look on him to see him playing such a jerk that I was like, oh, yikes. He doesn't stalk her at least, so that's a plus, unlike the other guy who was literally stalking her. But he gives her the same crap of being like, oh, you're a control freak. Men don't like control freaks. They're only gonna like you if you do this and do that and do this and do that. And, you know, constantly he's just being gross and inappropriate to her at work. He's like basically sexually harassing a bunch of the people she works with, and people, thank God, a few times there are like characters that make comments like, oh, isn't this like sexual harassment? But of course that's just played up for laughs. Wildly inappropriate though. And of course, over time, Katherine Heigl loosens up and she starts falling in love with him. And then just as they're about to have a moment, he chickens out and whatever. And then there's like their big moment is in a hot air balloon and they don't know they're being filmed and everybody's watching, and he admits that he loves her, and she starts being, you know, super controlling and like correcting his grammar and whatever, and then he's like, didn't you hear me? I said I loved you. And she's like, why? Which is a great question, because I wondered the same thing. Why do you love her? And then he's like, to hell if I know. Well, yeah, same. Great question. And then, you know, I don't see any love from her, which I also don't see any love from him either. But then, you know, they kiss and everybody's like watching it on TV and whatever, and they're all happy and cheering and whatever. And then it cuts to a scene of them in bed, and then the movie's over. And I just felt the need to talk about this briefly, and I understand I went very deep into the synopsis of these movies just now, but now we can kind of get to what I really want to say about this, which is there's nothing inherently wrong with rom-coms. I think rom-coms have their place. I think they can be super fun. I think they can be super cute. I think when done right, they can be like a reminder that there are great relationships, there are good people out there. And as much as I'm not a romantic, I do know that's true because I have friends that are in great relationships with wonderful people. I don't think it happens for everybody. I don't think it happens for most people, but it does happen. That being said, I think that it can be like a nice goal for people. But when the rom-com formula is a woman with a career who's doing the best she can, and she has to, you know, speak up for herself so that she can get somewhere in life, meet some irresponsible stalker dude who she's supposed to just fall in love with and change for, and, you know, when the whole crux of it is that he's going to change for her, that's passing off such a negative message. It's very similar to the message that you get from movies where like a bad guy falls in love and he changes and you changed him. Here's the thing. Yeah, that happens in fiction all the time. In real life, that very rarely happens. Most women that think that they're going to be able to change a man that's like that, they're sadly mistaken. They end up in a miserable, sad, and oftentimes abusive relationship. And some of those women don't live to tell about it. I very much have a problem with rom-coms that are following that pattern. If you meet a guy who steals your daily planner, finds out where you're going to be, goes to those places to find you, writes notes in it, tears pages out of it, and gives it back to you, and then starts pressuring you anonymously and not anonymously to go out with him, and then takes you on a date and makes fun of you and your way of life the entire time, don't date that guy. Don't stay with that guy. Don't marry that guy. That guy is not a good guy. I don't care how cute he is. I don't care how funny he is. He's not cool. He's not cool. He seems cool, but he's not. He's a jerk. You deserve better than a jerk. You're not going to change that jerk. He's going to stay a jerk. That's how it is in real life. So anyway, this was a lot more of a rant than I expected it to be, but I hope you enjoyed this video for, you know, whoever was interested in my hot takes about some Katherine Heigl movies from like 10 years ago. But in the comments below, I would love to hear what you think. What are some rom-coms that you like? What are some rom-coms that you hate? Did you see these movies? What did you think of them? Like, up in the comments. I want to talk about this with you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you should do it now because I am about to be doing a new giveaway and I'm very excited about it. So keep an eye out. As soon as I get to 300 subscribers, I'm doing another giveaway. So you can help us get there and you can have a chance at winning some cool stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.